The story of the Exaltation of the Holy Cross.
Subscribe to our channel to receive more content like this.
Long ago, in the heart of Jerusalem stood the hill of Calvary, the very place where Jesus was crucified. His death was the greatest act of love, but for centuries the cross where he suffered was lost to history. Buried beneath rubble and forgotten by time, its memory lived on only in the hearts of Christians who honored the sacrifice. The cross was more than wood. It was the symbol of salvation. For the early believers, it reminded them that suffering could be transformed into victory through Christ. But many longed to find the true cross itself, believing it would strengthen their faith and unite the church. Generations passed, and Jerusalem fell into the hands of rulers who did not follow Christ. The holy sites were neglected, covered over, and even mocked. Still, whispers endured that beneath the earth lay the very cross on which the Savior of the world gave his life. The time came when God stirred the heart of a remarkable woman, an empress, a mother, and a seeker of truth. Her name was Helena, and her mission would change history forever. Helena was the mother of Emperor Constantine, the first Roman emperor to allow Christianity to flourish openly. In her later years, Helena devoted herself to God and longed to uncover the holy places connected with Jesus' life and death. Around the year 326, she journeyed to Jerusalem with deep faith and determination. Her goal was simple yet bold: to find the true cross of Christ. Many thought it impossible, but Helena believed God would guide her steps. She began asking the local people about Calvary and the tomb of Jesus. Centuries of ruins, pagan temples, and stones buried the sites, but Helena would not be discouraged. She ordered the destruction of idols that had been built on sacred ground, clearing the way for discovery. At last, workers uncovered an ancient tomb and 3 wooden crosses buried nearby. But which one was the true cross of Christ? This was the mystery Helena had to solve. Helena prayed earnestly for a sign. 3 crosses stood before her, each weathered by time. One belonged to Christ, and the other 2 to the thieves crucified beside him. But how could anyone know which was which? Tradition tells us that the Bishop of Jerusalem, St. Macarius, suggested they bring the crosses to a sick woman near death. One by one, the crosses were touched to her body. The first and second brought no change. Then the 3rd cross was placed upon her, and at once she was healed. Strength returned, color filled her face, and she rose, praising God. Everyone present fell to their knees, recognizing this was the true cross of Christ. The discovery was more than a relic. It was a divine confirmation that God still worked through the symbol of the cross. Helena had not only uncovered wood, she had uncovered a living witness to the power of Christ's sacrifice. With great reverence, the cross was lifted high for the faithful to see. Crowds gathered in Jerusalem, weeping with joy, bowing, and making the sign of the cross. The moment was so profound that it became known as the Exaltation of the Holy Cross. From that day, Christians honored not only the cross as a reminder of Christ's suffering, but also as a sign of his victory. The wood that once represented death now represented life eternal. Helena ensured that churches were built on the sites of Christ's passion and resurrection, including the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Pilgrims from all over the world began to visit Jerusalem, strengthened in faith by seeing the place where salvation unfolded. The story of the cross was no longer hidden. It was exalted, lifted for all generations to remember. Yet, the cross would not remain undisturbed. Centuries later, invaders seized Jerusalem and carried away the precious relic. For years, the Christian world mourned its loss. The cross was more than wood. It was their reminder that God's love endured through all trials. In time, through persistence and prayer, the cross was returned to Jerusalem. Once again, the faithful celebrated its exaltation, giving thanks that God had restored what had been taken away. Through every challenge, the cross remained a symbol of resilience. Nations rose and fell, armies fought, and rulers changed. Yet the cross always returned to its rightful place in the hearts of believers. The feast of the Exaltation of the Holy Cross was established in the Church to remember not only the discovery of the cross, but also its preservation through history. It became a feast of faith, victory, and hope. Today, when we hear Exaltation of the Holy Cross, we may think of ancient relics in faraway places, but the meaning is closer to our own lives than we realize. Like Helena, we, too, are called to seek the cross, not by digging in the earth, but by carrying it in our daily lives. The cross reminds us that hardship, pain, and struggle are not the end of our story. Just as the cross of Christ turned from suffering to salvation, our own crosses, whether they are challenges at work, family burdens, or personal struggles, can be transformed by God's love. When we exalt the cross, we are not glorifying suffering itself. We are lifting high the truth that God can bring victory out of every defeat. The wood of the cross once seemed like the end, but it became the sign of new beginnings. So today, let us remember Helena's quest and the miracle that revealed the true cross. Let us carry our own crosses with faith, knowing that God can turn even the darkest of burdens into the brightest signs of hope.